Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Drew, and in this video, I am going to give you the results of a recent Gallup poll. And when I dive into those numbers, I don't think you're going to be very surprised. But before I get to that, I want to make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to continue to see content similar to this and other current affairs within higher education. So in June of 2023, Gallup conducted a poll and they essentially asked people, how confident are you in higher education today? And they came back with 36% of people who were polled that said they did have some level of confidence. Now this is down from 57% when this poll was conducted in 2015. And then when it was conducted in 2018, the number was 48%. So we've seen a consistent decrease in that number. And only 17% of people polled said that they had a great deal of confidence, which is down from 28% in 2015. Now, the biggest contrast when you break down who they polled would really go to political affiliation. So those who identified as Republican, there was a 37% difference in terms of how they felt about higher education, more of a 37% decrease. Now you compare this to independents, where there was a 16% decrease, and Democrats, who had a 9% decrease. So it was not asked in the poll, why are people losing confidence in higher education? But it is most likely attributed to one of two things, or both. One being the rising cost of attendance that is getting out of control and lower financial aid that is available for students, or students not being able to attend and work to support themselves at the same time. And you also have the political polarization and the campus climate and how divisive all sides are becoming and how charged and aggressive all sides are becoming with how they feel. And a lot of people may feel that that's taking away from what higher education was meant to do in the first place, and that there is this feeling that you may no longer really get a value from your degree through employability. And if you do get employed, you are not earning what you should be, and it's essentially not enough to make ends meet. So I think the bottom line, I think this is pretty obvious that we have lost confidence in higher education because of a number of variables, and a lot of it is out of our control. I think what state and federal governments need to do is they need to begin reinvesting into higher education, because essentially if you have an educated society, that is going to contribute to your local and national economies, and it's going to better your society as a whole. Now, I kind of talk about this when I talked about one of the documentaries that I had watched that I will throw a link up into in this video. And it really talks about trying to create better citizens, and that is going to essentially pay it forward in terms of creating a stronger country. So that's not happening. And if that does, if we can bring the cost of attendance down, then yes, you will probably see people who are now able to begin going back to school. There is the student debt problem, which we don't need to get into in this video, but it's very obvious that this is a huge barrier that is preventing many people from earning a college degree, and it's scaring them away. The other thing is degree creep. You're going to need a degree to get a job, and essentially you are going to need a higher or an advanced degree to get into some jobs that used to only require an undergraduate degree. So for example, if you just had a bachelor's or an associate or no degree in the past, you may have gotten a pretty good position. But now we are creeping towards a point where you may essentially need a master's degree to stand out among applicants just to do an entry-level basic job. So that's problematic in itself, but in order to do that, now students are going to have to pursue graduate degrees and incur more debt and go through more expensive programs. So that is a runaway train that needs to be stopped. So what does this mean for you as a current student or even a prospective student? Because this is, again, it's out of your control and there's really not much that you can do. This is what I would tell you. Financially, and this is hard and it's easier said than done, you need to find every form of external and additional funding that you can find, whether that is scholarships, whether that is tuition reimbursement or whether that is some sort of academic plan like the Starbucks College Achievement Plan, where your employer will pay you or reimburse you or take care of tuition in pursuing an undergraduate degree. Some states may have programs where you can go to a community college for free if you promise to work within that state for so many years after graduation. If there are programs like that where you are, please take advantage of those, because now it's about trying to be smart with your planning and how you go about that. If you need to start at a community college because tuition is cheaper, do it. Because this leads into my next point. You need to take ownership over your educational experience. It does not matter anymore that you go to class and you absorb what the faculty are telling you so you can pass a test and then you can graduate. That is not going to get you a good job. That is not going to make you a solid employee. What you need to do is go beyond that and start asking questions and thinking differently about what you're learning. Do additional readings. Really think about, what am I learning and how does that really relate to the world around me? How does that relate to what I want to do in life? Do what you can to figure out what your strengths and your interests are and try to leverage that into opportunities. Go and meet new people. Get different perspectives about the world around you and take advantage of opportunities to become involved, to develop leadership skills and sort of those soft skills. Because what this is doing is this is developing you into a critical thinker and a problem solver. And that is a very general way of summing up what employers are looking for. But if you understand how complex or vague concepts work, or if you can kind of think through some of these concept things, if you can solve complex problems because you've had some sort of experience doing that as an undergraduate, that is going to pay off, because this degree is going to be your ticket into the game and nothing more. So you really have to think about, how can I make this work for me? Because I may have said this before in several videos, if you're going to go to class and then go home, you are most likely to say that your college experience or your college education did not do anything for you. And part of being independent as a college student is making the most of it. You will get out of it what you put into it. So when you have all of these people saying, get involved, do this, consider this program, they're saying it for a very good reason, because you are going to grow as an individual, and this is all directed at that end game, and that is graduating and getting a job. So hopefully these numbers improve in the future. I wish I could be optimistic, but I'm not. I think it will continue to decline. Hopefully we start to see some small changes with how the public feels about higher education. Again, I'm not too optimistic yet, but I hope I'm wrong. And I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope it gives you something to think about. And don't forget to hit that like button if you felt this was useful. And also, I want to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with this Gallup poll, and also what you feel is missing from the college experience that can help students become better employees and also become more employable and find opportunities to become employed. So with that, I will catch you in the next one.